Good morning. Welcome to our Neutral Voices Presents a Financial Pillar. I'm Ryan Leopard. Joining me today, Mark Ellington from DR Financial.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mark. And from our Neutral Voices, James Scott.
Good
Mildred
morning.
Lopez.
Good morning. Good morning.
I need security. I was officially insulted.
Yeah. Right before we came on
By
air, Mark was
This
assaulting
guy
James.
right here.
This
talking-
guy owns a men's apparel store. I'm going to go there, and I'm trying to look at what he's modeling, and he's saying, I got that
This
stuff
does
at
not-
home now.
That does not represent.
Which camera I got right now?
That does not represent.
I'm right
his
here right
house.
now. This does not reflect his house men's apparel.
Absolutely not.
Just so you know, it does not.
Yeah, this is the once around shop that you've been going to.
Hey, but we can't talk about TGF Mobile. If you need to get your cell phones, get the hooked
Yeah,
up.
there you
got
go.
a broken phone, you need to get a phone service, whatever you need, man. If you are not supporting TGF Mobile here in our community, man, we encourage that you do go out and do business with those cellular outlets, man. Great customer service, great family environment, owned by a local family here. Just so, man, ain't nothing like supporting your own home
Absolutely.
and the people that do
Absolutely.
business, man. Let's get it done.
Good stuff.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
commercial over with.
And the people in those stores will be dressed better than you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was hoping next time you'd have Mark coming in here looking like that. that would be some
Well, yeah, I'm going to go to his store sometime this week and get me
It's-
some clothes.
Laughter is great.
Mildred said she'll dress me better than James.
Absolutely. 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 Come on by.
You can do it.
All right,
That's his house men's apparel.
Nothing's like starting the show with some commercials and some humor. So thank you,
Absolutely.
guys.
Absolutely.
But today, we had a special event that happened over the weekend, Saturday.
It was
our
awesome.
Neutral Voices in
Absolutely.
partnership with Brightpoint,
Yes.
who we had Steve Hoffman, CEO of Brightpoint, with us last week.
Mm-hmm.
We had the first seminar, right, in the series,
Correct.
Financial Pillar series.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about that. How was the turnout?
The turnout was beautiful. The place was almost jam-packed, which is a good thing for the first one that we did. The most beautiful thing, man, is the lady, the speaker. I want
Mindy.
to talk about her.
Mindy.
Okay.
Mindy
Krupp,
Krupp.
and she was with Brightpoint, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let me rave about this young lady. This young lady is surreal. And the best person to ever talk about situations when it comes to whatever they're speaking on is somebody that's lived it. So listening to her talk but include herself in the conversation throughout the entire conversation. And then when you talk about transparency, she talked about her household.
So she was speaking from a place of
Man,
experience.
straight
Absolutely.
personal, and she shared the stories of her struggle with her and her husband and being without employment and the issues that they dealt with by exhausting all of their savings that they had saved up, to try to survive. So definitely kudos to her.
What's the
Like,
chances we can get her on the show sometime? You
I
bring that
think
up to her?
that's highly probable. I mean, because of the relationship that we've established with them, I think we wouldn't have a problem with getting her to commit to share. Yeah.
And I know she's excited to share because, like James said, it's experiences that she's lived through. So it was exciting to, even after the seminar, to sit down and talk to her because I'm all about educating, and so is she. So to give information that applies to our every move, to our every aspect or facet of life is a beautiful thing. So I'm so encouraged that we have partnered with Brightpoint. And if you missed out on the first seminar, if you missed out on the first one, I please encourage you to come out to the second one, to the third one, because the information is heavy. It's so needed. And you might say, I'm not going to open a business, or I don't need help financially. I have an accounting degree and I still need to be educated. Every day I need to learn something because laws change, banking systems change.
Absolutely.
So to get the information from the source is priceless. I was looking at financial seminars online or in colleges, and this is something that's coming to the community by Our Neutral Voices and Brightpoint for free. This information is coming for free, and to be able to tap into the resources that they have, like the microloans, is priceless to me. The information and the resources is amazing.
Absolutely, and I was unfortunately not able to make it due to a prior engagement, but yeah, I was excited to talk with you guys and see, what the turnout was like. Where was it held?
The summit right down here on Rudersville Street, the old Taylor University.
Yes.
college campus down on Ruderson.
And this was the first one in a four-part
First of four.
series, right?
Yes.
Same place each time?
Yep, every time. This was just a general overview of the entire sessions. And as Mildred said, man, strongly encourage people to attend.
So,
and let me say one more thing on top of that, Ryan. Even though you think you understand it and you have it all together, when you go and you sit in a room like that, the little things that you get, man, that turn light bulbs on.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you truly want to do better for yourself financially,
You can.
these are the environments that you want to sit in. These are the spaces that you want to go in. You first have to take the movement needed in order to put yourself in position to receive what you need to get where you're trying to get to. When I tell you, man, that lady's awesome, and their curriculum that they're bringing to the table is awesome because we had the privy to look forward to look into the curriculum. It's beautiful.
So when you say the curriculum, this is what Steve was talking about last week that they offer on a one-on-one basis?
That is correct.
Through Brightpoint, but then they just kind of brought this
So
to...
not only on an individual basis, which is the great thing that I learned in this first segment of the 4-part series. So she talked about what they offer, the microloans, the finance part of what they offer. She talked about the 4 C's of credit, understanding your money. She talked about the importance of shopping for banks. She talked about the importance, even on a small scale, when you are trying to buy a car. You know, I'm looking for a car right now. So what I do is I go to the car dealerships. Well, what happens is my credit gets a soft hit, and that lowers your credit score. We don't realize that, but it does, even if it's a soft hit. What she suggests, which for me was a light bulb, like you said, was go to my own bank, because I have my own bank, and get a dollar amount, and then go to the dealerships and say, this is what I pre-qualify for with my bank. That way they can find something in that range, and they don't have to touch that soft credit hit on your credit report. She also introduced the financial foundation, how we need to be stable and have a foundation on our finances. She talked about budgeting, which we have talked about before. She talked about credit, lifestyle changes, little things that we do on a day-to-day basis that cost us money, like money orders, because she's addressing our community, which doesn't look like a lot of people, so a lot of people that came, I talked to a young lady and she thought it was a job fair. But then when I sat down with the young lady and understood what she was looking for, she's an entrepreneur. And I explained to her, hey, this is where you want to be. And watching her, I was sitting in the back and watching her eyes. You know who I'm talking about? Yes. Watching her, I kept my eyes on her because she didn't think she was in the right place. So I said, take a pad out,
Was she
take
ready
a pad.
to walk out right away?
She was ready to walk out. She really was. And I kind of caught her in the lobby, and I know her from the community. I know her from, church and worship. So I said, stay. You might get something.
You're already here. You might as well listen, right?
Man, and watching her eyes light up because she has a business in mind that she wants to do, and she's stuck. But to get that information and see her write down certain things and be excited to want to come back and say, okay, I have certain things in place, and Miss Mindy and her team walk through every step with you. So if you apply for a microloan, they walk through your business plan. They make sure all your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed. If you need to see an attorney, they give you those resources step by step, and they walk with you even after you've obtained the loan because they want to make sure that you utilize the funds to benefit your business and the community. They want to make sure that you're good stewards.
Steve talking about that last week.
Yes.
On last week's episode about what they do with help starting up businesses and walking through the business plan and all that stuff.
So one of the things I was thinking about as I was thinking about coming on this morning was to ask
Mark.
the
It's okay.
experts
Forgot
in
your name, Mark. She forgot
Mark.
your
I
name.
was gonna say the experts.
guy.
You missed a couple weeks and
The
she forgets
geezer.
you.
Yeah, we're
But,
so forgettable. This
You know,
old people.
because you work in DR Financial, and I know that's a finance.
Right.
So I was thinking about what's the cost to sit down with a professional to look at my finances, just a guesstimate,
Well, there's no cost with us. We would always sit down with anybody that walked in the door
for free.
Yes, for free,
Oh,
and look
for
at
free.
your. You would not pay anything until you say yes, I want to move forward, and then you know exactly what you're going to pay for whatever it is.
Just gonna do a
that you're
consultation
looking-
session.
Yeah.
So the
yeah, free
consultation,
the
is,
consultation,
the consultation.
is free, whether
is-
it's small business or an individual looking.
But when they become clients, what is the cost for a session? Just
Well,
a
it-
roundabout.
Well, there's really no cost for a session. It's what are you moving forward in. If they want to set up a business, then there'd be a cost to set up their LLC.
Okay.
If you're moving forward in retirement, if you're going to do estate planning, there would be a cost for estate planning. It would depend on what you're doing. 80% of our clients are small business clients. So a lot of what we do is with small business.
And I think that's what we talked about one time on the show when Chris was here as well. Is that's one thing I found value in by having somebody when I had taxes. I was self-employed,
Right.
so I kind of needed somebody at that time. But even after I went back into the corporate world, was W-2 again, I still paid that person to do my taxes each year because I had that relationship. I felt like, hey, they're not charging me for every little thing. If I need information on something, I have a relationship with somebody that I can come and talk to. So Mark, sounds like that's the same thing that you do, is that you just have a relationship with these individuals. Now, as they need things, whether it's their taxes done or investing or estate planning or something like that, then that's where the cost kind of comes into play, right?
The majority of my day is phone calls from clients. What about this, Mark? Or I'm thinking about this business or this purchase in my business, or what's the market look like? What should I look at investment-wise? So
You're a trusted advisor to your clients.
yeah,
Yep.
or I'm referring them to somebody else that has the expertise they need.
But most financial advisors aren't free, right?
I would say, I don't really know. I would say most of them you're going to pay something for a consultation.
Okay,
but
so-
I could be wrong on that.
So I was looking online on what the cost is on something like that, and you're looking at anywhere between $300 and $800 a session to sit down and review your finances as a whole. That's a lot of money. I mean, I don't have that, just stashed somewhere. So what I'm saying is to obtain the type of information and knowledge that you would get at a college, that you would have to pay for a finance class, which right now you're looking at $26,000 if you're going to take a finance course, which is ridiculous to me. However, I'm blessed that I'm in a position and in a platform that we have partnered with Brightpoint, and they have all these resources for free to our community. They don't just pay bills. They don't just do utilities. They offer so many other things that people don't know about. So to be able to tap into Brightpoint and our neutral voices in this season of your life, you better get in before you get missed.
And let's talk about the word free for a minute. Free sometimes to me is a very bad, tasteful word. And that's just personal, right? Because too much of free stuff hurts people. They don't have nothing in it. But when you get resources like this, I love that. But when you talk about the free cheese and welfare, which is the famous word today, the rabbit hole, let's not go down that.
Right.
But to understand the relevance of an entity like this, you hear good and bad about it, right? There's no 100% absolute in nothing. They service so many people, but they just don't have enough to take care of everybody. So for those that think bad of it or don't want anything to do with Brightpoint, man, squash that.
Absolutely.
Like when it comes to this part of it, I can't speak on everything else, but if you could get these resources that'll benefit you and your family, man, take advantage of
Yeah,
it.
they're just bringing
Like,
information.
period. That's it,
right?
man. To
Just
be able
bring
to say that
information
they're
for you.
going to touch you and walk you through to help you get to a place of success
Absolutely.
with your vision, say they're going to touch you and give you all the tools you need. I can't do it for you, but I'm going to give you all the necessities that you need, the information that you need to prepare you mentally and structurally to do the things you need to be successful. I'm going to give you that. Now, that type of freedom or free stuff, I love it.
Yeah, it's free
Because
information.
what they call it in the pastor over here, what do you call it? Fishers of men.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to teach you how to fish to live
Yes.
and sustain yourself. So biblically, man, when we talk about being good stewards and good people and good men, then it's imperative that we give back to the people. But people need to take ownership of self. Like we said when we first started this Financial Pillar show, the biggest thing of all that we do, all that we share, is the individual being accountable for themselves and taking accountability and moving in the direction that they need to get to where they want to be. Mm-hmm. You have to take ownership of it.
You know, one of the things I've loved about listening to the two of you talk right now is just how much passion you both just talked about with your subjects.
Man,
right?
we was dreaming
Man.
about this last
Man.
night.
Like,
Yes.
that's what I noticed.
was-
There's good information, good talk, but the passion that you both spoke with right
You
now
know,
speaks a lot.
It's our neutral voices I'm very passionate about. So anything that has to do with giving back to the community, because I've had my struggles. And like I said, talking to Mindy and understanding where I'm at financially. And I'm one that, I've dealt with Brightpoint in the past, and even when the CEO was here, I'm the voice of negativity on this panel because I want the transparency. I want people to understand that, life is hard, finances are hard, but Brightpoint, to understand how they work, how they move, and the whys. A lot of times I asked him on the show, the CEO, about paying bills and, getting shut off, but to understand where the money sits and what other programs they have, what other things they pour into our community that people don't know, that I didn't even know about. Gets me excited because if I can help somebody else better themselves and know that this too shall pass. The Bible says people perish for a lack of knowledge. And I believe I'm one that I don't care how old I am. If I don't learn something new every day, I'm wasting my time.
You don't feel like you're growing.
I feel like I'm not growing. Even if I don't do it, I've learned some. If I don't do it, that's my fault. You know what I'm saying? You have information. If I don't take that information and do nothing with it, then that's woe on me. But I have the information to better myself. And if you don't do that and take care of that and change your mindset, Neutral Voices, we're always talking about protecting your mindset, changing your mindset, because we are raised in a system where it kind of jails us. We are being taught in our education system how to work for somebody else. And here we have the opportunity to better ourselves, our family, and our community. If we all do that, you do that in your community. James does that in his community. I can do that. Man, it's amazing what we can do with the amount of people. If we hold each other up, it's beautiful.
So speaking of the amount of people, any idea what the turnout was? Guess wise,
It was
guesstimate?
probably 40 of us that were in attendance. The space could only hold 30.
They were
comfortably.
standing.
People were standing around.
They were.
walls.
I was
This
standing.
was put together short notice wise too.
Absolutely.
Right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So not a bad turnout for short notice.
Not at all. And we
Yeah.
have 3 more sessions. They're going to be talking about banking on August 19th. Like I said, shopping for banks and what to look for and interest rates. September 16th, we'll be talking about budgeting. And October 21st about credit, the 4 C's about credit, and all that. The curriculum is amazing. The information is going to be powerful.
Yeah, as soon as I saw this on here when you brought this to me last week, it kind of sounded like what our first 4 episodes were down the line. Mm-hmm. So it's just touching on a little bit more personal wise. So as far as those in attendance, what kind of feedback did you get from them? Was there a lot of question asking? What kind of information were they looking for? What was that looking like?
Very good questions were tossed in the room. People are intelligent. Mm-hmm. People are not slow. I think a lot of times we get caught up in the work that's needed to get things done, like taking the necessary steps, going through the process to make sure you do have the correct information and do certain things you need to do, but then also behind that, implementing what you learn. So the questions that were asked in the room were phenomenal. The feedback was people were grateful, thankful for the event, and everybody was in tune to say, man, we can't wait to the next session. So we're looking for strong growth in the next session, mm-hmm. as opposed to what we saw this time. They say take your small successes and enjoy them, but we know there are so many other people that do need the information. And as we said so many times already, strongly encourage.
Where do you think the 40 people came from? Did they hear from
our
the
community?
Show? Were you out
there was
promoting it?
We have been promoting it in all our, we're all about Black-owned businesses. At least I am. So this has been spread out through our community in the southeast side of Fort Wayne. There's people from different churches, different other Black owners came by to support.
There were white people in the audience too.
Come on now. Come on now.
There were white people there. Let's just give them credit.
How many?
Maybe 2.
1, 2?
Maybe 2. It was 3 there.
Maybe 3.
3 or 4.
4.
We brought them.
If we include,
I was picking my wife up at the airport. I'll be at the next one. To me, these kind of things, how many times I've met with somebody and it's I didn't know. Mm-hmm. This, together, if you're struggling in finance or not struggling, information, knowledge is powerful. And how many people went down the wrong path because they didn't know and wasted time? These are the kind of things that
led by the wrong people.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Misinformation.
And many times you want to go to several different opportunities like this to get all the opinions, because you're right, opinions like noses. Everybody's got one. They may not be right. But the more information you gather, the more likely you are to make the right choices and not waste a time going down the wrong path. Oh, wow, I wish I hadn't have done that. If I'd have known, I wouldn't do that. How many times you heard that? Mm-hmm. And just what Mildred's saying. These kind of things.
Lessons to learn, though.
Man.
Yeah, just you got to make sure you learn from those wrong paths.
And I would encourage people to watch the episode. I've served on a board with Steve for 4 years. I've been to his lake prep. I've seen him just be who he is outside of business. Very solid, a passion for what he does, just a passion for what he does. So I would encourage people to watch the episode and
what do you
really
think about
look
the episode, Mark?
Huh?
What do you think about the episode?
I think it will be fabulous. Ryan calling me out on not watching the
people
episode.
out there. We were talking beforehand. Mark missed that episode next week, but he swears that he will go watch it after the show.
Yes,
so
I will
encourage
gather
him the same way he's encouraging you.
I will gather that knowledge. But yes, Steve is the real deal. I've served with him and really.
I concur that, man. Yeah. Steve truly does care. Well, first of all, I'm a territorializer. He cares about this south side of Fort Wayne. Yes. He cares about the lack of that he sees, and he's eager to see things change. He's aggressive about it, and it's on his high priority list to make sure that he's a part of trying to help change the trajectory of the people that live over here, so that they can live a better life.
Absolutely. And I got the opportunity to go sit with him one-on-one prior to our show last week to kind of get to know him personally and get an idea of what it was that he wanted to talk about. And that was the same feeling I got from him as well, and asking about, how did you even get into this not-for-profit side? I think we asked him that on the show too. That was not his intention. He didn't come into this with the idea of, I just want to be the CEO of a not-for-profit organization. Right. He kind of naturally fell into it and realized this was his path. Yeah. Right, this is where he was meant to be, and that allowed him to grow into the position of leadership that he's in now.
Correct. And just so everybody can understand who Steve is the CEO of BrightPoint.
Steve Hoffman.
His name's Steve Hoffman. Steve is actually the CEO of BrightPoint. So good guy, truly does care about this community. So you heard us mention the name Steve a lot, so we just want to make sure that there's clarification on the fact that he is the guy that's actually the CEO that actually sat down with O.N.V and its team, actually came and met the entire team, bro. This dude took time out of his schedule late in the evening to come sit in a meeting to meet the entire group. And when I tell you it was a fellowship, just to be amongst somebody that's been blessed to be in a position like that could bless so many other people, the humility to do that. And you can't say that enough because you can't find that in too many people. Once they're gifted with that space of success, and really, I don't have to worry about that, but the guy has a true heart for people, period, like especially poverty-stricken areas.
Good. So what else, anything else you want to
So I wanted
tell
to
us about from
I
Saturday?
wanted to plug their business part of it.
Whose business part? Brightpoint's? Okay.
Brightpoint. Because a lot of times, we think you have an idea in mind and you want to create a business for yourself, but your bank or you're not worthy of being given funds by a bank or credit union or something like that. So if you have been denied a business loan for any reason at all, bankruptcy, your credit is low, you have no credit for any reason whatsoever, and you have a passion for something and you want to do better for yourself and your family, I truly encourage you to reach out to Mindy over at Brightpoint. If she doesn't know something, she'll direct you. There's another young lady that works on her team that, like I said, they will sit down with you. They will talk to you about what your idea is. Do you have a business plan? What is it that you want to accomplish? And they will walk and have these small loans from $10,000 to $50,000. Very low interest, if any at all. But they walk you through everything. And if you are in that position, I truly encourage you to reach out and to come by and participate in these seminars that are coming up. It won't hurt you. It's going to benefit you.
Free seminar.
Well,
Absolutely.
to have a business
It costs you
plan,
your time.
many times you're turned down at a bank because you're walking in
With nothing.
Yeah, and the banker doesn't have a choice. You don't have a business plan,
A
what's he gonna
budget
do?
or nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. So if you have an idea, I see this all the time. They have an idea and they go set things up. Because I tell people, don't set up an LLC till you got a business plan. Don't spend any money till you have a plan on how to move forward, or you find out, does my idea work? Is there a market? It may be a great idea, but you don't know the market you're in. So these kind of things are important. If you have an idea as an entrepreneur, get with someone, and this is a great place to go. Get a plan so that when you go to your banker, you got some credibility. He's seen you did some work, and then you can speak to that.
Yeah, that's what Steve mentioned last week, is that the bank is the first step to see if they can. What happens if the bank can't help you out for whatever reasons? That's where Brightpoint can kind of step in and help you put some of this stuff together, and then maybe you qualify for one of their loans for that. Because he said, even if they're the first step that you come to, they're going to refer you to the bank first to see if you can get qualified there. They're there to kind of step in where the banks can't help you out, right?
Yep.
Good. Few minutes left in the show, but do you want to, the upcoming seminars?
So I plug. If you see something that looks like this,
Beautiful flyers, by the way.
Beautiful
That's
flyers.
One of the first things that stuck out. Very
Our
well put
Neutral
together,
Voices and Brightpoint, August 19th, banking at the Summit Community Center. And you don't have to pre-register, but we encourage you to, so that way we can make sure that we have enough snacks and chairs to accommodate everyone. The phone number is 260-348-5785.
What kind of snacks, by the way?
Oh, we had tons of snacks.
I was waiting for Mark to say that.
We had cookies,
in my
chips.
What kind of snacks?
They were free snacks.
What kind of
Free
drinks?
snacks.
What kind of drinks did they have?
So I want to. If I pre-register, I will
Strong
get
drinks.
snacks, right? If I pre-register, I'm guaranteed snacks.
Guaranteed, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm all in then.
All righty. So another event we have going on is the Society of Black Mental Health Professionals. Our Neutral Voices also has a mental health pillar, and they present their second annual community mental health awareness walk back to school event. Join us in the fight to end the stigma. In our community, mental health is frowned upon, and we're trying to lift that stigma, and that is August 5th at 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. at McMillan Park, and it will end at Weiser Park. There's going to be giveaways, back to school supplies. Smokey J's will be there, and there will be a lot of mental health resources, which is also very important in our community. So there's a lot of things going on with our Neutral Voices, with our mental health pillar. Those directors are doing an awesome job. So I encourage you, if you don't know anything about our Neutral Voices, I encourage you to please go to our Facebook page and our YouTube page. We have tons of information, podcasts. You don't want to miss what's going on our Neutral Voices and with Neutral Voices in our community.
Our Neutral Voices out there doing it in our community.
Absolutely.
Right? Bringing the resources for you to come take advantage of. So that's all the time we have today. Thank you for being here. Thank you to our listeners for joining us. Shout out to Brightpoint for a brighter future. CEO Steve Hoffman and Mindy Krupp for their partnership. We thank you. Until next time, our Neutral Voices. Peace.
Have a good morning.
Happy trade.